Well, good evening. I think it's 8:30. 8:30. What's happening, everybody? Good evening. How's everybody this evening? I hope everybody's well. Let me see if I can reach out to some folks tonight without hitting the folks that don't want to be in this little chat. What's up like I always do. Y'all please be patient with the old guy. Alrighty. Again, I pray everybody's had a wonderful day today. A lot going on in the world. Hope everybody's doing like Henry McMaster said, soap, I did it again. Soap will take care of the coronavirus, I guess. I guess he was trying to say. I don't know. Okay, as I definitely I think, tagged two people that I didn't intend to tag. Please, first off, accept my apologies, my most humble apologies. And then untag yourself, please, if you would. I'd really appreciate it. Man, hoping that Ricardo will get on here tonight. It's a great article with NBC. Brother deserved them. He deserved them props, that's for sure. Been grinding for a while after coming out that system. Some of us know about that grind for sure. A lot of us know about that grind. Okay, let's see. Get a few more, and we're going to rock and roll. Okay, let's see. Peter, politician, Rez, Kevin, Sherry, Greta, Lovey, Dion, Jasmine. All right, let's roll with that. We're gonna roll with the punches, as they say. All right, let's see what's going on. All right, good evening. I see some folks that jumped on. Nephew, what's up? What's going on? I meant to hit you with a text earlier today. Okay. But we'll talk. We'll talk real soon. Okay. Brother Musa. Salam alaikum, my brother. For sure. Philly, I think, right? Kicking it. All righty. Brother Selvin, what's going on? Christine, Queen Christine in the house. Yes, we can, my brother. Yes, we can get together this week for sure. Let's set a time either later on this evening or tomorrow when we can meet later on this week. Yeah, we do need to build a little bit, brother. Brother Damon, what's going on? Jermaine, what's happening, my brother? Yo, what's going on? Melissa, how you doing? Jesse, yes, sir. Jesse, our designated council person for North Charleston District 6. I don't care who sits in the seat. There are people who put in the work that don't just sit in seats. They get busy about taking care of the community. That's Jesse Williams right there. Gina Mocha. Regina, what's going on? How you doing? All righty. Moving forward. Yes. YT Hayward, Khalif, Shauna Leah off the West Coast. Shout out to you and Izan. My Senator Jamie Harrison in the house for sure. Sorry I missed the event earlier today. I got a little bit trapped up in some other things, trying to catch up with some things, and wasn't able to make it over. But hey, give me a shout out. I'm ready to go anytime that you need me for sure. Danielle, what's happening? Yes, hanging in there. Charleston Brady in the house. That's right, Danielle. We rolling. We on a roll tonight. That's right. Take action, not sides. Yeah, we ain't trying to fight with each other across the aisle. We're trying to build together, take actions, not sides, and still maintain our own separate identity, for sure. Stephanie, how you doing? Lisa, what's going on? Moms demand action in the house, for sure. Yeah. LT, what's happening? Mike Aiken, what's going on? Stephanie, how you doing? All right, all right. Yeah. Okay, we're going to give a couple of more minutes, and then we're going to dive right on into it tonight. Got a little ground to cover. Like I say, I'm representing Brady tonight, for sure. I sit on their National Board of Trustees, and just stand by for those who have been waiting to hear about community action that's going to change the complexion of gun violence in inner city and urban areas. Stand by. It's coming. It's coming. Nothing like bail bonding in the house. What's happening? Yeah. Jillian, what's going on? Tammy, how you doing? Good to see you. Nancy, what's going on? Yeah. Tag you and Sam for sure. Got some things brewing in this broadcast I might want y'all to hear for sure. Yeah, we need to get a handle on this gun violence. I don't want to get too much into it because the headlines have been they've been sort of lesser in this area. And I don't want to. I'm not superstitious, but sometimes don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. That's for sure. Latanya, what's going on, brother Bass? What's happening? All right. Well, man, it's been one heck of a week, wasn't it? One whirlwind week from last Monday to this Monday, man. With the debates and all of that, I was in D.C. a few days with Brady. Man, then we turned around and Saturday was the primary. We had all kind of things going on Friday night. Man, Tom Steyer, man, shoot, he set it out up in Columbia, didn't he? Him and Juvie, right? Him and Juvie. Yeah, that was, there are people who talked about the Steyer and his campaign or whatever, but that last action before the primary, and then he backed out after the primary, respectfully. He really, gave those who had followed that campaign, which I was one of those who followed that campaign closely and a part of, just the understanding that politics is serious, but we also need to be lighthearted about it and have some fun sometime. I'm about sick and tired of seeing people so caught up in the political realm and at each other's throats so much that they look like, to me, and please forgive the slur if I have any Republican counterparts on here, but they look like a bunch of Republicans, man. I've been around Republicans and they look real angry about stuff. Life is too short to be angry all the time. And Tom Steyer on Friday, when he did that step out there with him and his wife with Juvie, man, I got a good smile in, not judgmentally, not looking, because, man, it was fun. It was just fun. And, it was just the next day, the results of the primary led him to make a decision that he didn't see a clear path to the presidency, so he respectfully bowed out, which that's the way we should always act in all situations, not just when we're in an election situation, but in our interactions, to do things with respect. When I looked around on Sunday and Mayor Pete decided that he wasn't going to continue his campaign, respectfully bowed out, not angrily, not stayed in, but respectfully bowed out. And then Senator Amy Klobuchar, with her bowing out today. I'm not going to talk about who's supporting what or anything like that. All right, what's going on? There's so many other people. Kiana, Muffy, Trudy, all righty. Sydney, what's going on? Anthony, what's happening? All righty. Yes. it just came that point, I guess, when the field had to be narrowed down from originally being 29 people in this Democratic race for president down to the final 5. You know, the last 3 going out being that over the weekend, over the last couple of days, Tom Steyer, Pete Buttigieg, and Amy Klobuchar. You know, shout out to their campaigns, to all who put in work. Taisha, what's going on? All right, all right. To all who put in work, quality work. Man, it was some boots on the ground in all of those camps, for sure. Good people out here supporting quality candidates who each and any one of them, had they won the Democratic nomination, would have had my full support following that nomination. There's a message right there for everybody. I don't care who you're supporting right now or who you have supported. Representative Matthews, please forgive me. I don't care who you all have supported in the past, whether your candidate is still in there, your candidate was long gone, or your candidate just left 2 or 3 days ago. I don't care. Once the Democratic nomination is in, we all need to get behind that person. All right, playing them games if you want to, for sure. For sure. We got somebody in the White House that don't believe that the coronavirus is going to bring in body bags. But you can't tell that to the people overseas that's been affected already. Can't tell that to them. That's for sure. Kelly, what's going on? Damon, what's happening? Charlene, all right. That's for sure. So that field has been narrowed down from 29 original down to 8. This past weekend at the primary, at the South Carolina primary, and now it's down to 5. The 5 remaining candidates running for president right now on the Democratic slate are Joe Biden, Michael Bloomberg, Tulsi Gabbard, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. Those are our 5 current candidates who are running. That's right. Whoever controls the House and the Senate controls the next 4 years. Yeah. We have to retake the House. We have to make sure that we maintain control of the U.S. House of Representatives. That's right. And we do need to take the Senate. We take the Senate. Oh, it's on and popping for sure. Lee, what's happening, brother? Darlene, all the way from Chi-Town. That's for sure. All right. All right. Coming to see you soon. Vanessa, how you doing? You know, I'm going to make a side note on this, and I commented on it before on another live. When I look at the final 5, and I'm not going to give out any ages this time, 4 out of 5 are in their 70s. Young people, young folks, please begin to get involved in the political process and link up with folks like myself who don't discriminate about young people, because we can't keep looking at a field of potential elected officials, 4 out of 5 in their 70s. Come on, somebody. It's time for a change. Young folks, get involved. Holler at your boy. I'm not insecure in my 67, almost 8 years. I'm trying to promote younger folks moving up. We got one on this broadcast right now that I'm proud to say is my state representative, Representative Crystal Matthews, for sure. For sure. Ran this last election, first time, and won against a longtime Republican incumbent. Took that seat and ain't looked back. She ain't scared either, for sure. Speak the truth. And I'll support her. And she up for re-election this year. I'm going to talk about it again in a few minutes. She's up for re-election this year. And I'm going to be doing everything I can to make sure that she hold on to that seat. You better believe me. And I'm going to be asking every one of you all to get involved with trying to make sure that she holds on to that seat. I don't care what area it is, knocking on doors, phone calling people. giving money because she needs money. Okay. But yeah, for sure. We also got Jamie Harrison online right now too, who's running against Lindsey Graham for the U.S. Senate. You know, man, we get rid of Lindsey, get Jamie in there, somebody who I know fights for democratic values, which are the diametric opposite of Republican values. Of the people, by the people, and for the people, instead of a Lindsey who's of the Trump, by the Trump, and for the Trump. Yeah, let's get Jamie in there too. He needs money too. People knocking on doors too. Okay, calling folks too. Holler at his campaign team. We need him in Congress. Just think, if I would have beat Tim Scott in 2016, and Jamie would have beat Lindsey, will beat Lindsey this year, Jamie and I would have been the U.S. senators from South Carolina. Talking about while I breathe, I hope. There would have been some big hope in this state going on for sure. Right along with Senator Sanders too. Cory Booker, Kamala Harris. Right on. But yeah, that field is narrowed down. Tomorrow's another day that's going to decide as far as the number of delegates that we have right now. Senator Sanders is leading in the delegate totals with Vice President Joe Biden behind him. I think in third place right now is Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren. And then I'm gonna just say Tulsi Gabbard after that, because I hate to do it, but I don't especially want to. Yes, sir. Brandon Fish, 2024. Yes, sir. I'm gonna hold you to that one. That's what I'm talking about. The other one though, Michael Bloomberg, man. Okay, I'm just gonna leave him right where he's at. Okay, alrighty, and I don't blame them folks in that church. And that's my opinion. Okay, you have your opinion, I got my opinion. I don't blame them folks in the church turning their back to him, even though the pastor did invite him there. That was sort of rude, but that's all right. It's all right. I can live with it. I hope he can. Well, with a billionaire, he can live with it. Been buying his way through it all anyway. So I'm going to leave him alone. Tomorrow is Super Tuesday. So we had our 4 early states that had their voting, right? South Carolina being the 4th state. And now we move into Super Tuesday, where we have 14 more states have their primary. Alabama, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, and Virginia. All of those will have their primaries tomorrow. Each one of those states has X amount of delegates, okay? So the person that wins the primary in each one of those states will have those delegates supporting them, okay, in the Democratic Convention in July, I believe it is. So there's a lot at stake tomorrow for the candidates that are remaining. And Damon, you say Fish got his vote, huh? Got your vote. I know that's right. Charlotte, how you doing? Team Hey Heart. It's an honor and a privilege to march in the American Heart Association Heart Walk with you on Saturday. Sorry I was running so late. But these are the states that tomorrow the candidates, those 5 candidates, are vying for wins in those races. And it would be my sincere hope that the bottom tier of tomorrow, just like what happened over the last few days, will decide to honorably step away. Let's stop doing all of this here, carrying on, okay, if you ain't going to win, you ain't going to win. It's just that simple. But that's what's happening on the presidential scale. But how many of y'all know that that's just the presidential scale? I've talked about some other races already. There's so many other races this year that we have got to pay attention to that will affect us directly, not just in the White House, not just in Washington, D.C., in the White House, but also in the Congress. I just talked about Jamie Harrison, who's running against Lindsey Graham. Folks, you can say whatever you want to, but Lindsey got to go. He got to go. I said it the other day. He got his head so far up DJT rump that he has no semblance of care for the state of South Carolina whatsoever. He lives to please Donald Trump. And that's not what an elected official needs to do. And we need to make sure that we hold them elected officials, not only him but others, accountable. Miss Ruthie, how you doing? All righty. Kevin, what's going on? We need to make sure we're holding them accountable. So Jamie Harrison is in the race for U.S. Senate, running against Lindsey Graham. That's the election this year, okay? So no matter who comes out of the election for the president or the nomination as the president, as that final candidate that's going to run against Donald Trump, if you decide that you're not going to vote, that means that's going to be another vote that's not going to go for Jamie Harrison in order to get rid of Lindsey Graham. See, there's no logic in saying I'm not going to vote. And then I have some more people that I'm looking at right now, and I'm going to talk about, who, if you decide that you're not going to vote, those votes that could be getting our people into these seats is not going to do it, because we need your vote. I don't care who you're supporting in this presidential election. We need your vote. Jamie needs your vote. So does Joe Cunningham in the 1st Congressional District. I don't care what anybody says. I'll take Joe Cunningham over Mark Sanford any day of the week. And definitely over that lady who was running against him the last time, Katie Arrington. Man, it's a new kind of crazy. You know, it's Pastor Dixon. I'm really not one in the biting my tongue over stuff. Not the truth, you know. And so if you decide not to vote, that means that's a vote that could get Joe Cunningham back in the office. Right now, there's somebody else that's running, I believe, in the 1st Congressional District. So this is for the House of Representatives. Okay, there are 2 chambers in Congress, the Senate, the U.S. Senate, and then there's the United States House of Representatives. Jamie Harrison is running for Lindsey Graham's seat in the U.S. Senate. And Joe Cunningham is running to keep his seat, the one that he won in 2018, in the House of Representatives. We have 2 U.S. senators. Tim Scott is one. He won't be up again, I think, until 2022. And then we have Lindsey Graham, who's up this year, and Jamie's running against him, and Jamie's going to beat him, okay, because we're going to go vote, and we're going to make sure that Jamie beats him. But then in the smaller house, in the smaller chamber, okay, you have the Senate, the larger chamber, and in the House, which is the smaller chamber, you have the House of Representatives, and it's the congressional in Congress in Washington. Joe Cunningham is our incumbent. He's the one that won in the last election, is running again, Democrat. In the 1st Congressional District. In the 2nd Congressional District, we have a young lady running against Joe Wilson and another candidate, Adair Ford Burrows and Viresh Sena. I believe I might have messed up the last name, but I tried. Adair and Viresh, both Democrats running as Democrats, okay, against the 2nd Congressional Republican. His name is Joe Wilson. Now, some of you all may or may not know who Joe Wilson is. Maybe I'll refresh your memory. When Barack Obama was in the floor in the floor delivering his, I believe it was the State of the Union address. I forget what address it was, but you'll remember. And one of the Republicans out of the audience just screamed out, "You lie," at the President of the United States. Guess who that guy is? That's that guy in the 2nd Congressional District, Joe Wilson, whose son just happens to be our state Attorney General, Alan Wilson. And the apple don't fall too far from the tree, okay? So in the 2nd, we got Adair Ford Burrows and Viresh Sena, okay? In the 3rd, as of right now, we don't even have a Democrat declared that has declared that he's running against Jeff Duncan. Jeff Duncan is the one that said that he wanted to put legislation on the table to make silencers for guns, or they call them noise suppressors, silencers for guns, making it easy for people to buy. Okay. He said because, it would be would help out hunters because of the chance of their hearing getting messed up while they're hunting. Okay to put silencers on gun. We got enough gun violence out here. You know, silencers were actually put on the back burner or prohibited because the underworld back in the 20s was using it so much in their gang activity, using them so much. They decided, okay, this is counterproductive to life itself in America. So they pulled them off. Okay. This dude, Jeff Duncan, the Republican in the 3rd Congressional District in South Carolina, he put a bill on the table 2 years ago that said, man, we need to make these available for everybody at your Walmart or something. Crazy as heck. A new kind of crazy. But he has no opponent as of right now. So hopefully the state party will get somebody vetted and on the table in order to run against this guy, you know, who really doesn't mean anything, you know, good to the people. Evangelist Wright was going on. Son-in-law was happening. Sister Soldier was going on. Andy Like was happening. Hope you're doing all right, you and the wife and the family. Chi-Town checking in. 4th Congressional District, we have a Democrat named Kim Nelson. She's running. Also, there's a Libertarian on the ticket, Joe Jorgensen, and they're running against the Republican William Timmons. That's the seat that was vacated by Trey Gowdy when Tim Scott's buddy, Trey Gowdy, and he was just recently seen representing Donald Trump in this. Okay. In the 5th Congressional District, we have 3 Democratic candidates that are running against the Republican Ralph Norman. We have Mark Ali, who I know personally and has been out here grinding for a while. And we have Marcus Brown and Raman Mamadov, okay, in the 5th Congressional District. In the 6th Congressional District, we have our longtime incumbent, and the senior senior congressman in the House of Representatives, the whip, Jim Clyburn. And there's an independent who's running against him named Harrison Schuler. And then in the 7th, right now we have Melissa Watson from the Berkeley County Dems. And it's an outstanding person. Okay. And Tom Rice is the Republican that's been there for a while and needs to go. And he has a Republican contender, DeJuan Huggins, who's running against him. Okay, so that's on the congressional level. But now, because I got a bunch of folks here that's from right around here, Gibbs Knots, what's going on? All righty, good to see you. Brian, what's happening? On the state level, especially locally, we got some newcomers out here on the scene. And I want everybody to understand, okay? Again, all of those folks that I named, especially those who are local, Joe Cunningham here, you know, and Jamie Harrison on the Senate level, and then these people I'm getting ready to name, if you decide that you're not going to vote, if you decide that because, excuse the terminology, you butthurt because your candidate did not win the Democratic nomination, and you say, I'm not going to vote, then the vote that could get one of these or all of these elected in November to overturn our South Carolina House and or Senate will not happen. Right now, we have a 2/3 majority Republican General Assembly. That means our House is controlled by the Republican Party and our Senate is controlled by the Republican Party. And we look historically at our state, the condition that it's in, when it comes to our poverty level, when it comes to our gun violence, when it comes to our education, when it comes to our domestic violence, all of these different areas, it's because legislation that could go through that would benefit the people, like the right to collective bargaining, forming unions, and also the right to receive a decent pay wage. These bills that are put on the table by Democrats trying to work across the aisle and negotiating all of this, they're being blocked by that Republican majority. I mean, if you got 3 people and 2 of them are Republicans and one of them's a Democrat, and the Democrat puts a bill on the table that doesn't go along with the 2 Republicans, and there's a vote, who gonna win? The majority. And that's what we have. That's the problem we have in our South Carolina General Assembly. The same problem that we have in our United States Senate in Congress, okay? Because the House in 2018 flipped. We finally got a Democratic majority that we haven't had in a very long time. And you know what? What happened? One of the offshoots of having that Democratic majority in the House of Representatives in Congress, it was the first time that we had gun legislation passed in the House of Representatives in 25 years since the Brady Bill was passed. First time. And they sent it over to the Senate, and it's been sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk ever since. Tell me about the Republicans there, and that's why I can't roll with them, to each his own on that. So back on the state level. So in other words, what I'm saying is, though, if you let the fact that your candidate is not the person who wins the Democratic nomination, is not that one that proceeds on to run against Donald Trump. If you decide that I'm not going to vote because my guy or my girl did not go further and become the candidate, the nominee, all of these people will be missing your vote. And we have that chance at losing once again what we could be gaining in the South Carolina House of Representatives and the South Carolina Senate. In the Senate right now, right here in this area, State Senate District 41, we got Sam Scardon that's running, a very qualified candidate, and young, on fire, stands for everything that I can understand and against everything that I don't. District 41, he's running against Sandy Sin. Okay? That's the Republican that he's running against. We need to unseat Senator Sin. We need to send Senator Sin on and replace her with Sam Scardon. And our vote can do it in November. But we can't be playing games. We got Richard Reesick, okay? Richard's last name is H-R-I-C-I-K. Richard Reesick running for State Senate District 43. 43 against Chip Campson, the Republican Chip Campson. These are the same people that we got all these problems with every time we're trying to move legislation that's going to help our people in this state out. These are the people. Richard is extremely capable of moving into this, of the people, by the people, and for the people. But if you don't go to vote, we're going to have Chip Campson right in there, and we're going to be fighting for everything and losing like we've been doing. And the state going to remain in the same place. And those are two in the state Senate, okay, from this area, okay, right from this area. We need to make that change. I think there are two other seats. If we take these two other seats, one is Paul Campbell, the guy who just stepped down from the aviation board. You know Paul Campbell. He was the one that was allegedly like a little buzzed up and ran into the back of the lady, and then him and his wife switched seats, allegedly switched seats, and the lady said that, and then all of a sudden the charges somewhere along the way just disappeared. Yeah, that Paul Campbell, the Republican Paul Campbell, he's up. But I don't think anybody's been vetted to run against him. Man, we need to get folks out there, because if we flip those seats right there, we take the South Carolina Senate. The Democrats take the South Carolina Senate. Instead of having two Republicans and one Democrat, and we lose all the time, we get two Democrats and one Republican, and we win some stuff. It's just that simple, folks. In the House of Representatives, South Carolina House of Representatives, in District 99, we have two people right now that are running. Okay, we have Jen Gibson, and we also have Donna Brown Newton. Okay, because we have two people that have declared as of right now. The filing, I don't know whether they filed yet. I don't think so. The filing deadline is like March 30th, in a few weeks. But right now, the two have declared that they are running. Okay. And if both of them file, that means that they've got to be primary. There's got to be a primary election in order to figure out which one of them is going to be the candidate, the single candidate. That primary will be on June 9th of this year. So we'll need you to go out to the polls again then. Make sure that you cast your vote in order to see which one of these is going to be the one to go for. If there's a runoff involved in this election, it'll be on the 23rd of June, 2 weeks after the primary. Okay. Then in District 114, we have Ed Sutton. Ed Sutton is running for this seat against the Republican Lynn Bennett. Okay. Lynn Bennett needs to go. Period. Why? Because we need to get people in here who stand for and represent what we believe in. We can't keep giving our lives away to people who don't really care about our lives, and their voting record shows it. Go to Ballotpedia, Ballotpedia, BALLOTPEDIA. Type in any one of these names and just look at their voting records. Or you can go to the South Carolina General Assembly website. Look at their voting records. See what they voted against that might have helped you and me and in the long term our children out. Ed Sutton. Good man. Good man. Yep, for sure. We need to get him in. In District 115, we have two candidates right now who are running, okay, or who have declared that they're running. Carol Temple, who ran against Peter McCoy. Peter McCoy is the current representative, a Republican representative for District 115. And Carol ran against him in 2018 and didn't lose by much. And then we have a newcomer, Eileen Doherty. Okay, Dowdy. And Eileen, I believe Eileen is an Emerge grad and definitely an up-and-comer in the local political scene, for sure. Now, once again, just like with Jen Gibson and Donna Brown Newton, should the two of them, after the filing date, both be eligible to run, then they will have a primary June 9th of this year. And the runoff would be, if runoff is needed, it'll be June 23rd, okay? I think right now, though, that their Republican incumbent is walking away, that he's not going to run again, okay? But I guarantee you, the Republicans ain't going to let that seat go unchallenged. Believe that. That's why we got to vote, folks. We got to vote. That's it. So now even further locally, as I'm moving right along, even further locally, we got another newcomer coming to the scene who actually ran for House of Representatives in 2018 and now has taken a shift that I'm really loving, okay? He moved from running for an office in the House of Representatives to looking more locally at what he can do to impact our community at a different level. His name is Ben Pogue, okay? Pogue. His Facebook page is Vote Pogue Vote, I think, or something of that sort. But Ben is running to take over the 9th Circuit Solicitor's Office to replace Scarlett Wilson. Now, I know there's some folks on this live right now who might not have had a pleasant experience with the solicitor's office in the 9th Circuit. The 9th Circuit covers Charleston and Berkeley counties. Ben Pogue is a man of caliber and distinction. I've met him. We've not only talked, but we've been out on the campaign circuit together. Man, I've listened to his concern for this community, and really the concern of the mistreatment of people up under the solicitor's office, because the solicitor's office never stopped to ask the people most affected by the legal system and law enforcement where it hurts at. Never has this solicitor's office under Scarlett Wilson stopped and asked black and brown people, where does it hurt and how can I help your pain? And Ben has been asking since the day I met him, help me to talk to the people and find out what I can do to help. So we need to get behind Ben, a true blue Democrat running against Scarlett Wilson, who just happens to be a Republican. Okay? Unfortunately, and once again, let me just put a disclaimer on it. These are my opinions, and I'm trying to get those who share my opinions to get actively involved and engaged in the political system, because for far too long, it's been our vote has either been neglected or has been misused. And now is the time for us to really get involved and engaged with people who I know, and there's some people who say, they kind of count, my opinion a little bit, who I know are good people and who will get in the office and not only be there, but will work on our behalf. That same thing where folks talking about the Democrats ain't did this and the Democrats ain't did that. Well, first off, they ain't did it because we ain't pushed them to do it. And maybe because we voted for people who just were not those public servants that we need. People who get in there and actually go to work. These people I'm talking about right now, man, boots on the ground, folks, that we need to get elected in office so we can move the needle and ultimately get up a year from now and say, man, life is getting better. Life is getting better. Just imagine if we would have changed over the mayor's office in North Charleston, too. Whoo! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Moving right along now. Okay, so that's Carol Temple and Eileen Dowdy in District 115. And we have Ben Pogue running against Scarlett Wilson for the 9th Circuit Solicitor's Office. We got some local incumbents that are running, and I'm just going to run through these folks, okay? Local incumbents that are up for re-election this year. And this is not an exhaustive list, okay? I want you to understand that. This is not an exhaustive list. So what I would suggest that you do is, especially after the 30th of this month, to go to scvotes.org, scvotes.org. Go to registration search, type in your information to make sure that you are registered to vote. I don't care if you just voted on Saturday in the primary. Check again, because they play tricks. They play tricks. And we need to be wiser than that. So check again. And also you'll see there all of the candidates that you will have running in your area, where to vote, when to vote, and everything. All of them right there. Who your current representatives, everything will be right there, okay? So please make sure that you check right there. And these same incumbents that I'm going to read off right now, which is not an exhaustive list, they're all running also. Let me back it up about the state candidates that I talked about just a minute ago and Ben Pogue. Let me just make sure I put this out. Political campaigns, first off, it's hard work. But in order to make them really work, these candidates need funds too. And they need volunteers too. So whatever you can do, give a dime, give a dollar, max out with 1,000, whatever the max is, if you can do that. But if you can't do anything but give $1, if you can't do nothing but give an hour, make sure that you're giving it into these campaigns, because all of that's going to help to do what? Remember the 2 and the 3? The 2 and the 3 to get 2 in favor of democratic values that will take control over that third one. Okay, we need a majority. Okay, so help out. Local incumbents. Our Charleston County Treasurer is up for re-election this year. She's an incumbent, Mary Tinkler. Man, She's done some amazing work since she's been in. This is her first term, and she's done some amazing work, especially when it comes time for like your property, paying on your property taxes and whatever. Whereas folks used to have it like all paid at one time, and it was really a strain on people. Man, she set it up now so you can actually stagger your payments throughout the year in order to take care of your taxes. Man, so they're not taking folks' stuff away. That's the kind of folks that I roll with. People that got the best interests of the community at heart. So Mary Tinkler is running. We need to help her out. In our state Senate, we got Senator Marlon Kempson with District 42. Senator Margie Bright Matthews, District 45. And remember, this is not an exhaustive list, so don't call back later on. Man, Pastor Dixon, you forgot so-and-so. I know I forgot a whole lot of folks, okay? But Marlon Kempson and Margie Bright Matthews both will be up for election this year. Okay. And in the House of Representatives, we got newcomer in District 15, J.A. Moore. J.A. actually unseated a Republican in District 15 in the last election, Sam Rivers. Yeah, Sam was just running around here shinning and grinning, looked like Tim Scott's little brother, and lost. Because J.A. grinded. He put that grind out there and he won that seat. And we need to make sure that he holds on to that seat. We do not need to give up any ground. We need to advance forward. Step by step, vote by vote, ballot by ballot, block by block, district by district. And all across this state, we need to be advancing, not losing any ground. So J.A. Moore is up for House District 15. Representative David Mack III up again in District 103. Representative Wendell Gilliard is up in District 111. Marvin Pendarvis, I think this is Marvin's, second term, is up in House District number 113. And of course, and I mentioned her earlier, my representative, the people's representative, Crystal Matthews, House District 117. So, folks, we got to get these people reelected. And we can't make a decision based on who we are supporting for president right now, whether we're going to go vote in November based on whether my guy or my girl becomes the Democratic nominee. We cannot make that decision. If we do, all of these seats are in jeopardy. All of them. We can't do that. Get smart. Put your feelings out the way. Get rid of them. I have my picks. I have my preferences. But overall, it's about the goodwill of the people. What do the people need? What can I do to help the people in the end? Because there's not going to be a reversal from whatever the outcome is with the Democratic convention. When the nominee is made, there's not going to be a reversal. The nominee will be the nominee. And if the nominee just doesn't happen to be your person, we got to get behind that one. Playing them games. I really don't feel like moving to Canada or nothing. But if we mess around and let this fool get back in office, I got to go. Me and my wife making plans right now. For sure. But if we all come together, and remember, not only that our vote's going to go for whoever the Democratic nominee for president is, but for all of those people I just talked about, all of them. Come on, folks. We can make this a better place for everybody. For everybody. And I'm going to talk about what this is really about anyway, though. Because no matter who that person is that is elected in whatever position, presidential, U.S. Congress, South Carolina General Assembly, local seats, school board, no matter where it is, if we just elect people and we don't do nothing to make sure we hold them accountable, then we're the problem, not them. So we can talk all that mess about the Democrats ain't did this, Democrats ain't did that. And look, if we didn't hold them accountable, they ain't the problem. We're the problem. We're the problem. We need to get up off our behinds and make sure that the people that we elect are doing what we need them to do. Period. I'm just as much at fault. I'm not pointing any fingers. That's the problem. I heard my good brother Elvin Spates earlier today. talking about, a definite something that's for real. Elvin was talking about how we need to make sure that we're researching our candidates before we cast our vote. And that's real. We do need to know people's history, that's for sure, where they stand at on issues or whatever. I would say make sure that you research Republicans too before you decide to vote for a Republican. Okay. But the Democrats also, make sure you research folks. Okay. And making an informed decision on a person, but also weigh what was done in the past against what's been done in the present. Okay. I have to always temper my my conversation with that, because I believe in redemption. Okay. Where there's contrition. I did a lot of things in my past, okay, but I had to come to grips with my faults and my defects and own those and say I'm sorry for them. And I mean from my heart, that's contrition. And from that point on, I made that pivot, that change in my life where I started trying to correct everything that I had messed up, okay? So there are those who might have issues in the past, but they've had contrition and made a change moving forward. So we need to be aware of that also. But Elvin is totally correct about when he says, and good to see you, my brother, I see you on now. When he says that we need to research these candidates, make sure you're researching your candidates. Don't just go running willy-nilly because somebody says I'm the Dem and vote for me or whatever. No, research these folk. Research them. But the other side of that coin, because it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop when you've done even when you've done your research and you go cast your ballot. Whoever wins, and this is where we've dropped the ball at, they work for us. And we need to make sure that they're doing their jobs like they work for us. And we haven't been doing that. And that's why we can say, well, the Dems ain't been doing this and Dems ain't. We can also say the Republicans ain't doing this and that, because I don't care whether the Republican is elected, is still elected to work for who? All of us. Not just the Republicans, all of us. And if they're not representing all of us, then we need to make sure that we handle our business as the employer. It's time to fire them, for sure. Okay, I don't care whether it's Democrat or Republican. If you ain't working for the people, get rid of them. They got to go. They got to go. Straight up. Make your own decisions about who it is that got to go. And I don't have any problem with folks that campaign against them. If they got to go, they got to go. You know, Lindsey Graham would not be doing what he's been able to do as far as sucking up to Trump and all of this and ignoring the people in the state. If the people in the state didn't let him do it, Tim Scott would not be able to do what he's doing and been doing if the people didn't let him do it. We don't make enough noise. We fight more with each other than we do fight with the people who are working for us. Man, slavery wouldn't have lasted 2 weeks if we would have had that model in place 400 years ago. Let the slaves do whatever they want to do. You know, shoot, man, you know, they all right. They all right. No, them people went out and policed them. The employer in slavery held the employee, the slaves, to the standard that they wanted them to have. If they didn't, what'd they do to them? Beat them. The whole nine. So it's our job, folks, to make sure we're holding our elected officials accountable. That's our job. Yes, research, like Elvin said. But beyond the research, our job is not over once we cast that ballot. That's when our job starts. Because whoever wins that election is still on us to hold them accountable. And see, that's why when it comes to this presidential thing, okay, and we do have great candidates, okay, we got some that might be considered better than others, and there's some who everybody believes in their own candidate. But after the Democratic convention, there's only going to be one remaining. And I keep hearing people talking about who's winnable, who can win against Donald Trump. Guess what? Let me clue you all in on something. You want to know who can win against Donald Trump? Any one of those people that's in the field can win against Donald Trump. If we all get together and go vote for him, If every Democrat, every registered Democrat in the United States put aside their feelings, get out of their feelings, stop being butthurt because their person didn't make it, if everyone went to the polls and vote, any one of these candidates, including the Democratic donkey, could win this election against Trump. So we got to stop using this crazy language, who's winnable. Every last one of them is winnable. Every one of the 29 that ran is winnable. If we go vote. Not this crazy language about who's winnable. That's just another excuse to say, okay, if my person didn't win the primary, the Democratic nomination, then I don't have to go vote. And that's what keeps us losing. Stop it. Stop it. Go vote. Let's win. I don't know about you. I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of fighting this fight. For sure. But we can do this. We can definitely do this. I see it's like 9:25. Let me cut this thing short, okay? In closing, I just want to talk about my brother, okay? My brother that's been the center of some serious controversy and everything because of his decision to support the Republican Party. I'm talking about Shakem, okay? I'm going to use the name. But I want you to understand something about this, okay? And I would be a hypocrite if I did not talk about this. Shakem has every right to support whomever he wants, okay? That's his business. He can attend the rallies and say, I'm going to vote for Trump and everything. That's his business. It's his right. It's not only his God-given right. First off, it's his right as an American citizen. So we go in on him and carrying on. People have been going in on him and all of this here. But yeah, okay, all right. I get that too. Because, there's some things you can't just stop, and that's when people are going to be opinionated and they're going to say what they say. And we all do it. I know he's done it, okay? I do it, but that doesn't make us enemies. That doesn't make us enemies, And even in disagreeing with one another, we don't have to be, just nasty about the disagreeing or anything like that. Respect that man, And just as the same way I ask others to respect me in my decisions. That doesn't mean I'm going to be silent about speaking out about what I believe in or don't believe in. No, I'm going to say what I got to say. But the bottom line is respect the choice. Respect the choice. We not Republicans. We ain't trying to tell women what to do with their body. Respect the choice. Straight up. I wanted to add that in there, because, I speak a lot about respect for one another, about having our collective community working together. No, sir, Jermaine, we can't afford to be enemies. We got enemies out there who are plotting on us being enemies, pitting us against each other. We can't do that. Let that man be who he is and what he wants to be, That doesn't mean you have to be silent about it. But ultimately, just, okay, all right, right on, show you right. I don't agree with you, but right on, Straight up. I got a lot of friends who are Republicans, Do we agree on everything? One thing we don't do is we don't talk politics when we together, for sure. Because we have that much respect for each other. So we should have that much respect for one another, that we don't have to be at each other's throats or consider each other enemies in this thing. It's hard enough out here, and we losing folks every day out here. But the bottom line is also, on the other side of that coin, is me as a Democrat, I'm going to keep on pushing democratic values, electing Democrats, working for Democrats and everything. And I'm not going to stop talking about the differences between Democratic values and Republican values. Okay. It's not an indictment against him because he can do whatever he wants to do. And I respect that. But this is how I feel. And I'm entitled to my opinion, just like he's entitled to his opinion. And we can respect each other for having different opinions. And ultimately, I think maybe we'll all get stronger when we learn how to respect one another in our different opinions and understand that there's a whole nother world out there that's really trying to take us down no matter which way it goes. Okay? All righty. In closing, last thing, I just want to tell y'all, I'm famous. I am famous now. There's a blog spot. I think it's a South Carolina blog spot called The Contemporary Conservative. And they did an article, okay? And I got honorable mention in the article. And it was based on my good friend Shakem. But I guess the writer of the article, Dixon, another Charleston area black community leader who has been called out repeatedly by other black out the black community to white liberals and sacrificing the real needs of the black community to the needs of the party establishment. Man, I made the cut with the Contemporary Conservative. I'll put a link up, or just hit me up and I'll inbox you the link if you want to read it or something like that, the blog. But, that's kind of thought process is what we're up against. Anybody who knows me knows that's a bunch of hogwash, But for those who don't know me, they'll read that and say, oh, yeah, that's that guy there. Yeah. So we got more to do. we got more to do. We got more to focus on. And I know I could have taken that negatively, but man, I'm just happy. I'm famous, man. I got the conservatives writing about me. Man, he's a bad dude. For sure. Man, what's going on? All righty. So, my good friends, my brothers and sisters, I hope I didn't bore anybody tonight. But in closing, I just want to ask you all, please, do it for our children. If we make a change this year, if we put our differences aside this year, we can make a difference in November that might change the course of the future for generations to come. If we follow it up by holding those that we put in office accountable, we can do this. We can put a Democrat in the U.S. Senate representing South Carolina, an African-American Democrat who will be serving next to Tim Scott. That's worth watching. Okay. We can replace these seats, the Senate seats in our General Assembly, and take that over. We can move somebody into our solicitor's office who I know cares about you and about me. And when I say you, that's anybody and everybody, because he does. We have an opportunity this year to make South Carolina and the world a better place. But we cannot allow our feelings, our affiliations that we have right now to get in the way of that after July. After July, it's time to put our feelings on the shelf and get involved in any kind of way possible with the one person who becomes the Democratic nominee for president in order to beat Donald J. Trump. DJT Rump, what I call him. Please, to the candidates, all 29 of them, well, 28 of them, when that one person emerges, all of y'all need to be devoting your time, energy, and effort to getting behind that one person, knocking on doors, making phone calls, writing letters, donating to them campaigns, every last one, 28 of y'all, and should be doing it publicly. Wayne Messam, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, Michael Bennett. They had so many names I can't even remember them. The Yang Gang, all of you, everybody out there in the street saying, okay, it's July, and we got till November 3rd to get this person elected. Let's go. And pulling all your teams together to support that one person. And in the end of that, guess what's going to happen? That cesspool that we have in Washington, D.C. right now, that's led by DJ T-Rump, we're going to flush that toilet and replace it with clean air and clean water and people who have a chance to breathe once again. Y'all take care. Thank you all for being patient with me tonight. I think I might have gone over an hour, man. I got to stop doing that. Y'all take care. Have a good evening, man. I love each and every one of you all. And please do me a great favor. Hug somebody tonight. Tell them you love them. Tell your children you love them and give them a hug. And let's start tomorrow to make the world a better place. Take care. God bless. I love y'all. Peace.